So the grid is as follows for the fourth and final race here. It is Tim Gerhard's on pole position and the number 50 from the Netherlands. Alongside, it will be an all-Dutch, actually top 7 here, as we have two Belgians running in this particular championship and this particular weekend. So Jaden Thien alongside Tim Gerhards, who starts on pole. Enzo Bol, the 155, will be in third position. Alongside will be the number 60 of Nick Gerhards. Jens van der Eyden had a battle with the number 60, but Jens will start 5th in the 151 alongside the number 166 of Teun Schmidt. Ralf van der Pevert, Matthias van Goethem, Annabel Brien, Jules van Huel will round out the 10 strong. So the running order will be the following numbers. 50 on pole position, 107 in second, 155 in third, ahead of number 60, and number 151 completing the top 5, with 166, 168, 145, 123 and 121. Those are the respective driver numbers as where they will start. So we'll wait to see when Tim Gerhards ends up going into getting everyone into formation. So they're heading into the final sector here at the fantastic 1,388 meter circuit here at Karting de Fagne International Raceway in Mariembourg in Belgium. So this 13-minute plus an additional lap race will conclude the action for Minimax this weekend before we say goodbye to them and welcome them back to Karting Genk, home of champions, in the first weekend of October this coming year, which takes place just 3 weeks before, a couple of weeks before the Grand Finals, the Rotax Max Challenge Grand Finals, being held at the Circuito Internazionale in Napoli. We know that some of the drivers will want to go to Le Mans this year in August to try and get a ticket to Sarno, but the race to Sarno in the BNL starts now. Here we go. It's 13 minutes plus an additional lap. Lights out, clean start from everybody, and it is 3 abreast at some points. Enzo Bol looks to have gotten up into second position at the minute. I think Jaden Thien is all the way down in 4th position. That is right, because it is now a Gerhards 1-2. Great job by Nick Gerhards, the number 60, to get into 2nd position. Now ahead of Enzo Bol. Jaden Thien in 4th place. Jens van der Eyden in 5th. Could that be that Jaden Thien is losing out another place? Yes, that is. So, well, no, not quite, because Jaden Thien tries to go up to the inside of Jens van der Eyden, retakes the position. Ralf van der Pevert looking very racy there in 6th place at the moment, having got past Teun Schmidt for position on track itself, but leading the way and trying to break everybody, break the momentum for everybody else is going to be the number 50 of Tim Gerhards. So you want to end this weekend on a high. Nick Gerhards in 2nd, Enzo Bol in 3rd, Jaden Thien in 4th, Jens van der Eyden in 5th. Teun Schmidt, Ralf van der Pevert now drops down to 6th position. So still very much the case that there is plenty of action left in this particular race itself. But the gap that Tim Gerhards has got over Nick Gerhards, who is really fighting now, that looks to be Jaden Thien back up into 3rd position. And there is a time penalty. It's not been a great weekend for Matthias van Goethem in the 145. Leaving the corridor with 2 wheels off the track, has now ended up in effectively. And there's been another penalty issued. 166 has just had one as well. And that's Teun Schmidt. So we've had 2 penalties issued. 166, that is Teun Schmidt leaving the track limits by 2 wheels. And then we've had a full off-track excursion for Matthias van Goethem, which has earned him a 5-second time penalty. Now, you know what the funny thing is? I've just been noticing over the last few moments is that whilst Tim Gerhards has been moving away from everybody, Nick is staying rear gunner, effectively. I don't know if that's the strategy call that the brothers might have discussed before this race got underway, but Nick Gerhardt is the proverbial cork in the bottle. If Jaden Thien gets past the number 60, it is then game on, because Jaden Thien has won 2 races this weekend. Tim Gerhardt has only won the 1 race, and that was earlier on today. So it's going to be very interesting to see what happens over the next few moments. And there are some definitive moves happening, because Jaden Thien is still trying to get past Nick Gerhardt's position, and does so, but has to go wide. Oh, there's a clash between the pair going to turn 4. Jaden Thien takes out one of the Rotax poles that banners there, rejoins, as does Nick Gerhardt. That was 2 into 1, and it never went, and there was a bit of a gesticulation there for Jaden Thien. Oh, they nearly came to blows coming through turn 4 there. That's not on at all. That is definitely going to be investigated by the stewards there, from my reckoning. But disaster. So Nick Gerhardt was trying to capitalised on Jaden Thien's mistake coming out of turn 3. Thien went, well, I'm going to go here. Nick Gerhardt tried to fit in the gap, and it didn't quite work out for the pair of them. So this now means the whole dynamic of the race has changed. Tim Gerhardt really does not have any sort of major competition now. The only closest driver will be Enzo Boll, who is a little bit further away, if I'm completely honest, to the tune of about 2 seconds. So that's another drama that I think that Jaden Thien and also the fact that Jaden Thien and both Nick Gerhardt did not want in any way, shape or fashion. So now that means that Tim Gerhardt has a country mile lead. So what that will mean is that Enzo Boll is going to have... I tell you what, this has really changed things, because now there's going to be a battle between 2nd and 3rd. Enzo Boll in 2nd, Jens van der Eyden in 3rd place. There's also some other battles as well. So as a result of their clash, both Jaden Thien and Nick Gerhardt have moved down the order all the way down to 9th and 10th respectively. So this is definitely game on between other competitors here. And I have to say that that was a real disaster. Now there has been a few changes here. Jaden Thien looks to have gotten past Matthias van Goethem, but obviously with a pending stewards inquiry by my sort of initial thoughts. Sorry, it's just a barrage of cutlery being moved at the moment. So, still plenty of this race left to go. 6 minutes and 30 seconds plus, and it was 37 seconds plus an additional lap. There were some battles. I was looking at 2nd and 3rd. It is no longer that, because there is a great battle, and this is for what is effectively, I think, 4th place on the road. No, that's 5th place. Hang on. So just wait to see where everyone is in the general order. So Tim Gerhardt is coming through the penultimate corner here at Karting des Fagnes. Now comes through the chicane, onto the main straightaway, down towards the start-finish line. Enzo Boll in 2nd. Looks like Jens van der Eyden in 3rd place. Way behind them is the number 166. The 168 of Ralph van der Pevert. Oh, no, that's Tern Schmidt, actually. Because there's been a few changes. Nick Gerhardt's up into 9th. Matthias van Goethem now down into 10th position. So Ralph van der Pevert in the 168 has got past the 166 of Tern Schmidt. Annabelle Bruin and Now, obviously, Matthias van Gotham is behind Annabelle Brien, but has been demoted to the back of the field as a result of the 5-second time penalty. So still 5 minutes, 14 plus an additional lap to go here in this last encounter for what has been quite a dramatic mini-max event in today's order of things. So the gap now between first and second has now jumped up to 3.06 seconds. As we're getting some great side-by-side battles here. Now this is obviously for those people that are watching at home. It is Matthias van Gotham and the 168, I believe. Well, there's quite a few drivers out there that are still trying to make their way up the field. And I have to say, Jaden Thien has really recovered well from what happened in that clash with Nick Gerhards earlier on. The 107 now up into 6th place. So Jaden Thien knows that it is a part of damage limitation right now to see how far up the field he can get. Now, he's got a couple of drivers in front. But one of them will be Matthias van Gotham, I believe. So van Gotham will, as I said earlier, has dropped down to last position. Tim Gerhards crosses the stripe again, as does Enzo Bol, Jens van der Eyden. And then Turn Schmidt. We've then got the 168 of Ralph van der Pavert. Here comes the motoring on. Jaden Thien trying to make up 2 positions. Oh, not again. The curse strikes twice for Jaden Thien going into turn 2 this time. So the 107, after that clash with Nick Gerhards, now has another clash in the same race. 3 minutes and 30 plus an additional lap to go. And it is pretty much plain sailing now for Tim Gerhards, who just has to keep it calm, composed, apply the throttle when required, hit the apex correctly, brake at the right time, and ensure that he's on the racing line all the way through to the checkered flag in about 4 or so minutes' time. He comes across the start-finish line about now. Gap between first and second, so back to Enzo Bol, is now, I think, a little bit further extended. That is 3.266 seconds between first and second position. Jens van der Eyden is currently running on round about the same amount of lap times in terms of how quick Enzo Bol is going. So there's a couple of they're exchanging similar lap times as there's more argy-bargy down at the back of the field, and one of them is Annabelle Brien, I think, is getting involved there. That's a good move up the inside of the 168 of Ralph van der Pavert. Jaden Thien really trying to claw back and do the damage limitation thing once again, and is fast running out of time. The youngster from the Netherlands in the 107 was doing great in terms of a recovery drive, but just tried to go for a move that really wasn't there, and it's destroyed the latter part of his weekend. So still 2 minutes to go plus an additional lap before Micromax concludes its racing this weekend. And it's still getting very dicey as Jaden Thien again does the Daniel Ricciardo style of type of overtaking, which hasn't really helped in a couple of maneuvers in this particular race, but goes up another position. So might have gone up the inside of Jules Van Huel there, I think, and is trying to make up another place there around the inside of turn number 6, makes the move stick. And the other driver has to avoid, lift off the throttle, go a little bit wide out of that corner to do so. Tim Gerhards has been running in the 59.6s, and it's just on a 59.689. Jaden Thien, in the meantime, on that last lap, has set the fastest lap of this race, 59.353. And Thien, again, I think, has just made up another position. Now, who is that behind? That's Annabelle Brien from the Netherlands in the 123. And I hope that we have the time expire very soon indeed. Well, actually, in about 25 seconds, because Thien is not going to make any inroads onto the driver up in front, which just so happens to be the first driver that he tangled with earlier on, and that is Nick Gerhards in the number 60. So 12 on the clock to go. Will Tim Gerhards manage to cross the line in time? Literally 3 seconds to spare. So it's this plus an additional lap as the timer has now expired. 13 minutes are up. And the gap now is 4.2 seconds back to Enzo Bol, who is about 3/10 or so in front of Jens van der Eyden in the 151. Turnschmidt, Nick Gerhards, Jaden Thien, Matthias van Goethum looks to have made an inroad, so to speak. And is currently showing as 7th on the timing screen. So this time around, Tim Gerhards from the Netherlands in the number 50 will get the final lap board as there's some more overtakes happening through turn number 6. So final lap it is for the number 50 of Tim Gerhards. Just over 1,300 meters left to negotiate here at Mariembourg. Enzo Bol and Jens van der Eyden still pretty much about 3 or 4 car lengths apart at this moment as they go through turn 1. Then it's the number 166 of Turnschmidt. The 145 of Matthias van Goethum has gone up to effectively 7th place. Nick Gerhards and Jaden Thien running in 5th and 6th position respectively. So leaders now coming through into, well, the leader itself themselves coming through into turn 7. Now into the left at turn 8 for the final time of asking. So Tim Gerhards, what a great display, whilst Jaden Thien was having an absolute disaster in this last final of the weekend. Comes round the penultimate corner through the chicane for the final time from the Netherlands. The number 50 of Tim Gerhards wins again here at Karting de Fagnes by a clear margin. Enzo Bol holds off to take 2nd ahead of Jens van der Eyden, who completes the top 3. Nice job by Turnschmidt to take 4th place ahead of... I'm just waiting for a few changes to happen because the penalty has been applied. Nick Gerhards takes 5th place ahead of Jaden Thien. Matthias van Goethum, as a result of the 5-second penalty, goes down into 7th. Now, obviously, Turnschmidt did have a 3-second penalty, but had done enough to keep himself ahead of Nick Gerhards at the end of it all. Ralph van der Pevert in 8th position with Annabelle Bryan in the 123 in 9th place with Jules Van Huel rounding out the top 10. Thank you, Minimax. We will see you at Karting Genk in October.